Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. Hope you're all doing good. So in this video, we are going to discuss about our transaction class file and the another important file which is known as generator class file. Okay, so we will discuss what is meant by this transaction and what why we need this generator. Okay, so basically we have already seen our testbench structure in our previous videos. So this was our generator file. This was our generator class file, and this generator class file was sending the random data which was randomized during the randomization process, and this was sending the random data to our uh, write driver as well as read driver. So it was sending the random data to our write driver and read driver, right? So this we have already seen now. So this generator class will send the data to the write driver and read driver, but it is going to send this particular data not pin by pin, or it is not going to send the individual data. What the generator class is going to do is it is going to send the object. Okay, it is going to send the whole object. So this object will consist of all the variables which are required for the write driver and all the variables which are required for the read driver. So the variables or the fields or the properties which are needed for the write driver are our write address and write data and write enable. So these properties are already available, will be available in this particular object. Okay, so these properties will be encapsulated in this particular object, and the properties which are needed for our read driver are read enable, and we will have read address. So these properties will be encapsulated in our object. Okay, so this object, this particular object class we are going to create, and this particular class for this we are creating the object is known as transaction class. So what we are going to do is basically we are going to create a class which is known as transaction class, and in this class we will declare all the variables with the keyword ran. All the variables, which means write address, write data, write enable, read address, and data in, and these variables in this particular transaction class we are going to declare them as ran keyword. And what we are going to do is basically in the generator class we are going to create the instance of this transaction class. We are going to create the instance of this transaction class, and we are going to create the object for this transaction class in the generator class. We are going to create the object of this transaction class in the generator class, and we are going to pass this particular object, okay, to this write driver and read driver. So I will repeat it once again. So first what we are going to do is the first step is we are going to create the transaction class, create the transaction class, and we are going to create the object of this. We are going to declare the handle of this transaction class in the generator class. So declare the handle of transaction in generator class, in generator class, and we are going to create the object. We are going to create the object for this transaction class, and we are going to call the randomize method. We are going to call the randomize method with the created object, which we have created the object now with the transaction class object, transaction object. So after creating the object and after calling this randomize method, that is the way the properties will be randomized, then we are going to pass this particular object. We are going to pass the entire class handle, or we are going to pass the entire class handle to write driver and read driver via the via mailbox. So this is what we are going to do in our further steps. Okay, simple. So first we are going to create the transaction class. we are going to declare the handle of this transaction class in the generator class, and we are going to create the object for the transaction class in the generator class, and we are going to randomize this particular uh, uh, we are going to call the function randomize with the object which we have created, and we are going to pass this class handle to the write driver and the read driver, which is consisting of random methods, random values of the properties via the mailbox from the generator class to the write driver and the read driver. We are passing entire class handles to the read driver and write driver. So this is what we are going to perform. So first let us declare our transaction class, then we will declare another class. So this is my transaction class. I have created a file for my transaction class. So for this transaction class, I will give the name as class transaction. Let me zoom in. Yes, class transaction. So in this class, I will declare my variables as rand logic. I will have my reset signal also, and rand read underscore enable. This reset signal for now I will remove it. Rand enable, read underscore enable, and rand write underscore enable, and we'll have rand. Okay, this data type is logic. Okay, rand logic. 3 down to 0, write underscore address, and rand logic 3 down to 0, read underscore address. Why I'm taking 3 down to 0 also I would explain in our previous session. So I'm having a total 2 power 4, that is 16 locations, so I'm taking it to be 3 down to 0. Okay, so depending upon your specification you can take your write address and read address. Okay, and rand logic 31 down to 0, data in, and the data out I'm not declaring it as rand because the data is being given by the DUT. 31 down to 0, data underscore out. Okay, that's it. Okay, all other constraints, everything we will write further. Okay, for now just simply I'm declaring the transaction class. Now this transaction class, what I'm going to do, I'm going to include it in my generator class. So first let me declare my generator class. Yes, so this file, in this particular file I will create my generator class. So class, resume generator. So my transaction class name is transaction itself, and what I will do, I will give in handle name generator to uh, transaction. Okay, generator to trans, gen to trans, and another is transaction data, transaction data I will give. Okay, next I will create two mailbox handles. One is for write driver and another is for read driver. Transaction, and the argument it is expecting is of only transaction type, and it is generated to write driver, and another is mailbox hash transaction generated to read driver. Okay, so I've created two mailbox handles. One is for my generator, one is for my write driver, and another is for read driver. Okay, now here I'm only creating the instances of here I'm only creating the handles of my mailbox. If you observe carefully, in the generator class I'm only creating the handles of my uh, mailbox handles. I'm only creating the handles of my mailbox, that is write driver mailbox and write driver mailbox handle and read driver mailbox handle. 1 minute. So in my, if you carefully observe, in my generator class I'm only creating handles for my mailboxes, that is read driver and write driver. So this two mailbox handles I'm just declaring, but I'm not creating the instance. Okay, so in the generator I'm not going to create the instance of this mailbox. Okay, so if you carefully observe in the further steps, I'm not going to create the instance of this mailbox handles. Okay, I'm just creating the handles. But if we haven't create any instance, how it is going to work? So we are going to create the instance in a top module for this generator, which is known as environment. Okay, so in environment we are going to create the instance for this mailbox handles. Okay, so in the environment, in the environment in the environment class, we are going to create the instance of the mailboxes, instances of mailbox. We are going to create the instances of this mailbox handles. Okay, we are going to create the instances and we are going to pass them to our generator, to our generator. We are going to create the instances of our mailbox handles and we are going to pass it to our generator. Now, one more question can arise. So how we are going to pass these instances? How we are going to pass the instances from the environment to generator? So we are going to use the function new. We are going to use the function new. That is a constructor. So this is known as constructor. This also we have already discussed in our SystemVerilog playlist. If you haven't watched them, please go and watch them. Okay, so we are going to use this particular constructor. So using this constructor, we are going to pass the instances of this mailbox from the top to this generator. Okay, so this generator will have a new function declared inside this, and it is expecting two mailbox handle as an arguments. Okay, this mailbox, so this generator is expecting is having a function new which is expecting a mailbox as a handle. So this environment, when it is creating the instance of this generator, so when this environment is creating the instance of this generator, it is going to pass this mailbox handles also. Okay, in the future also, in the future videos also I will show this, but now also I'm clarifying this point. So this environment class will have the generator class handle, generator class handle, and using this generator class handle we are going to create the instance. Let's say the generator class handle is gen_h. So we are going to create the instance of the generator by using the keyword new. And when we are creating the object new, we are going to pass the mailbox handles to this generator, because generator has a function new which is expecting mailboxes. Okay, so this is what we are going to do for passing the mailbox instances from the environment to the generator. Okay, so that's why I'm going to create a function new, and this function is expecting two arguments of mailbox types, mailbox hash transaction gen2 write driver, comma mailbox hash transaction gen2 read driver. Okay, this is what we are doing. So we are expecting two arguments of mailbox type. Okay, and inside this function what we are going to do, this dot gen2 write driver is equal to gen2 write driver, and this dot gen2 read driver is equal to gen2 read driver. Okay, so this is what we are doing inside this using this function. So using this function new, we are going to do this now, and I'm going to end one more thing, what going to do is I'm going to create the object for this transaction also. Okay, gen to trans. So it may be defined as trans to gen. It will be more clear. Trans to gen. Okay. So what I'm going to do is trans to gen is equal to new. I'm going to create the object for this end function. So I've created the instance of my transaction class also. Now, so, and one more thing, this particular generator class will have a task. So this generator class will have a task. So basically, what is the role of this task, which is present in the generator? So this task is going to perform the randomization. This task is going to call the randomize method. Okay, and this task is going to call the randomize method, and it is going to randomize the properties which are present in our transaction class. Okay, using the transaction class handle, which is trans to gen, using the transaction class handle, which is nothing but trans to gen, we are going to call the method which is known as randomize. So the properties which are declared inside this transaction class will get randomized. Now, after randomizing this, what we are going to do, we are going to put this particular object which is consisting of random data into the mailbox. Okay, we are going to put this particular object which is consisting of this particular randomized data into the mailbox. So after putting this particular data instance or class handle into the mailbox, we are putting this arrow marks indicates it is a mailbox. Okay, this is a mailbox and this is also a mailbox. Now the write driver and read driver are going to get this particular data from the mailbox. So these will use the mailbox methods which are known as get, and this will also use the mailbox method which is known as get, and the generator is going to use the mailbox method which is known as put. Okay, so this is what it is going to happen. So we are going to put the data, and the write driver and the read driver will get the data from the mailbox. So this is what we are going to write now. So we can give the name of the task, anything we can give. And one more thing, so you may have one more doubt also. So how many times we should perform this particular randomization? So you may have this particular doubt, so how many times we should perform this particular randomization? So for that, we can declare one more variable which is known as transaction number. So we can declare a variable which is known as transaction number, and according to this particular value, let's say if transaction number is 5, we can develop a for loop, and if the transaction number is less than 5, then that is I is equal to 0 to 4, that is 5 times the randomization will be happened, and 5 different data items will be written, or 5 different scenarios will be tested to this particular design. Okay, so we can declare some variable, and we can keep a for loop, and we can perform the randomization for how many times we need. Okay, so what we will do is we will declare a task first. We will declare it with the keyword virtual, and task start. We will give the name of this particular task as start. Okay, since we are starting the randomization, we are giving this a particular name as start, and within a fork join block, begin, and for int I is equal to 0, I less than, we can give it as a number transaction number I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus, begin, what is the handle name? The handle name is trans to gen dot randomize, and we are going to give it to our read driver and write driver. So we are going to give it to our read driver and write driver. So gen to write driver dot put of trans to gen and gen to read driver dot put of trans to gen. This is what we are going to do and end. Okay, this transaction number will declare in the top module. Okay, so that it can be changed by the user whenever he wants, and we will give join underscore none. Okay, so this is what I'm using it, and after that I will end this task. Okay, so this is the code for our generated module, and finally end class. So this is our code for generator module. So it's a simple code. We are just passing the data, we are randomizing the data, and we are passing the data via the mailbox to the write driver and read driver. Okay, so this is for this that's all for this particular session. So in our next videos we are going to develop our write driver and read driver, and we are going to retrieve the data from the mailbox from this generator which was sent by our generator. Okay, so that's all for this session. So if you have any doubts or queries, you can just ping me in the comments. I will try to answer them. And yes, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. Thank you.